Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the That's Football, nearly caught me out. That's Football, how are we all doing this afternoon? It's an absolute cracker of a Saturday in the Premier League today, and it starts off at Villa Park with Aston Villa against Brighton. For me, this is not even for the purists, this is just for people who get it. This is for people who love their football. Both teams have started fantastically well this season, and I think that it's just going to be cracking. I'm really excited for it. And look, whether we actually get it or not, I don't know. But as you can see at the start of the league table there, you can see how it looks at the moment. Brighton currently in third place. Aston Villa only 3 points behind them, down in sixth. And something's got to start giving. We've got some really interesting games today. Obviously, Tottenham entertaining Liverpool at 5:30. But Brighton against Aston Villa. Both teams are going to want to have good starts to the season, of course. And I just think we'll see goals in this. And that's ultimately what we want as football fans, isn't it? I just think it's such a credit to Aston Villa and Brighton that this game, probably 2-3 years ago, you wouldn't have much of a care for it. Whereas, I mean, look, maybe a lot of people don't have much of a care for it. But for me, this is a game that I just looked at a few weeks ago and I was like, oh, can't believe it. 12:30 kickoff, I'm watching this. So let's go through the teams for you and let's have a look at that. So as you can see, Aston Villa's team on the screen: Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, Torres, Digne, Kamara, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, Diaby, Zaniola and Watkins. Shout out to Matty Cash. If you haven't listened to our podcast, we do it twice a week now, Tuesday morning, and it comes out on a Friday morning. Friday morning is the opportunity to play Goldbridge. I need to write down the players that I had in Goldbridge, me against Will in that, but you can play against us as well. But Matty Cash actually got into our team of the Premier League team of the season so far. So give that podcast a listen and support it. Goldbridge Saves Football, links in the live chat for you. You can download it now for later. The Brighton side. Let's have a look at the Brighton side, Simon. Jim White loves Brighton. Martinez. Sorry, that's the Villa side. So as you can see, Steele in goal. There's something interesting here actually. And I don't want to dismiss it in any sense or shape. But we talk about Arteta, and you can't rotate your goalkeepers. You can't do it. It's stupid. It's not fair on the defence. But De Zerbi, who is such a hipster choice, he's not even a hipster choice, because a hipster is the people who are like, trying to be out there, or this player, that player, and nobody's really. It's like listening to a band that no one's listening to yet and go, oh yeah, they're brilliant. Oh yeah, I just love the album, and no one's even heard a single. But with De Zerbi, everybody knows what he's all about, and he does rotate his goalkeepers. So Steele is in goal today. Veltman, Webster, Dunk, and Estebanan are the back four, which is very stable. Hinchelwood, don't really know much about this Hinchelwood. Number 41, playing with Gilmore, and then Solly March, Welbeck, Matoma and Ferguson. They can mix it up. They can mix it up, and they do mix it up. And, you look at their bench, and Fatty's on there, Pedro's on there, Dawood's on there, Lamptey's on there, and obviously Verbruggen is on there. But they do mix it up. He does mix it up. He's definitely playing a squad game. I felt that they were a little bit unlucky to go out to Chelsea, actually, in the Carabao Cup, but it probably benefits Brighton in the longer term to be focused on the Premier League and the Europa League. They've got a big game on Thursday, haven't they? So, look, Brighton are going to be a good side. I don't know which way this goes, which is why we're going to do a poll results today. You can get voting. I'm just about to whack it in. That's what she said. Villa win, draw, or Brighton. I can't remember what I said on win, lose, or draw. I've had a bit busy week this week. What did I say on win, lose, or draw? Did anyone know what me and Ben Foster said? I can't remember. I can't remember what I said. I need it to happen. I need it to happen for me, but I can't remember what I said. I know I predicted Liverpool to beat Spurs. You said a Villa win. Okay. Well, I'm going to go with a Villa win. I think they're good at home. But look, this is what the Premier League is so good at. If you take Man City out of this league, imagine it. Well, you don't even have to imagine it. You can visualise it. Imagine Man City out of that league there on my left. And look, respect to City. well, respect's a hard is a bit too far, but they are the best team in the league. But you take them out of it, wow, you know. But I don't disagree with L. I think Brighton could rock up and destroy Villa. It's that sort of a game, isn't it? It's a bit like you just don't know. I'm just looking forward to it. I mean, look, I'm very much looking forward to the day of football ahead. I'm going to be doing United at 3 o'clock on the United Stand. I'm on TalkSport at 7:30 tonight. Get your calls in. That'll be live on YouTube as well. But these are the Saturdays that make me want to destroy the international break. If the international break was a dog, I'd put it down. I know that sounds really harsh, and I love dogs. So, not like some people do on Twitter. You know, they've got pictures of themselves with their dog. You know, I worry about those dogs' safety. But I do like dogs. I like taking them for a walk. I like autumn days with them round the fire. I'm reading a book. We're just having a chat. But I do love, I do like dogs. But if the international break was a dog, I'd put it down. I would. That's it. Don't phone the RSPCA because they won't get it. They don't understand football. But no, I would. I can't stand the international break. And the reason is that, like, in 2 weeks, it's an international break Saturday. And I'm looking at this Saturday. I'm going Villa Brighton at 12:30. Bournemouth Arsenal at 3. Man United Palace at 3. Newcastle Burnley at 3. Wolves Man City at 3. And then Tottenham Liverpool at 5:30. And I'm like, Goldbridge at 7:30 on TalkSport calling. I mean, it's just, that's going to be a lit show because there's going to be so much to talk about. It's great. It's absolutely great. Don't get me in trouble with the RSPCA. You can't be in trouble for the RSPCA just because you said if the international break was a dog, I'd put it down. The international break isn't a dog, so it can't happen. I played the game, says Motivation. It's very close on the poll. Can I just say, if you like our content, please take the time to click the link in the live chat and just download the podcast for later. Really appreciate your support. We're up against some real mainstream powerhouses with budgets bigger than Man City and Newcastle. Like, you've got Neville, who's just launched a podcast. You've got Lineker, who's launched a podcast. And you've got Goldbridge Saves Football, right? We literally are Brighton in that race. Like, they are Man City and Newcastle. They've got massive revenue. They can buy their own guests. And we are Brighton doing it the proper way. So please do listen to the podcast and support it. And you can do that by downloading it and listening to it each week. But you could download it now and have it ready for later. Right, we're ready to go here. Brighton kick us off. Evan Ferguson. I like Brighton. I like Aston Villa. What does that make me? Aston Brighton? Brighton Villa? No, I like both. I think this is a game, if you're a Brighton fan or a Villa fan or you've got a horse in the race, I get it. But I'm sure there's a lot of people like me who actually do not have a preference here other than I want a good game of football. This is why I love football. This is why we do That's Football. I love football. Sorry. Sue me. I love football. And these are the sort of games that I absolutely love. I love it. People don't get it. They're like, why are you watching Brighton Villa? It's not Man United. Oh, shut up. You don't know a thing. You don't know anything. When I was at school in 13, I used to do media studies. What a waste of time that was. Me and another lad used to play a game called Elimination. And basically, we'd pick a team from, well, it wasn't the Premier League. It was the Premier League then. It would be about 92. You'd pick a team from the Premier League. You'd go Everton, and I'd go Andy Hinchcliffe. He'd go Dave Watson. I'd go David Unsworth. He'd go, is Neville Southall still there? No, he's not. 1-0 to me. Right, let's do Spurs. And I can't remember who was playing for Spurs in 93 now. But these are the sort of things we used to do. I love football. I love it. If you love football, by the way, this is a lovely, seamless integration. OneFootball sponsor our stream, and they sponsor the Stats Carousel, which I'm about to start clicking now. You can download it for free through the link in the description or the QR code in the top right-hand corner. It is a Super Saturday of matches all over the place. OneFootball has very, very quick updates on scores, team news, latest news, and stats. We've got the team stats there. They do the individual player stats. So download it for free. OneFootball, links in the live chat. Brighton, I saw a stat that Brighton virtually never, ever hit it long from their goalkeeper or from the back. GFT says it's 4:30 a.m. I am still taking your. I still I'm happy to do your agony aunt stuff. I retweeted a clip this morning about Alex, whose girlfriend shit the bed, and I think this has helped a lot of people. So if you have any problems, football related or not, we're happy to solve them here, and we do it for free. You know, a lot of people you have to pay for that sort of stuff. How's your FPL, Mark? I can probably tell you my FPL, actually. I think I've got it up. I have got it up. So, Onana in goal. Estebanan. Saliba. Chilwell, but he's out injured, so he will become Colwill. Maddison. Mitoma. Saka. Bruno. Haaland captain. Højlund. Darwin Núñez. I'm relatively happy with it. There's just one player I really would like to be getting in, and his name is Son. But yeah, so I have got 2 horses in this race, actually. I've got Mitoma and Estebanan. What's your thoughts on Moussa Diaby from Villa, says Bart, who may or may not be Scottish. My thoughts on Diaby are that I think he was a very interesting player with a very interesting profile that a lot of clubs were looking at, like Arsenal and Manchester United. And I think he probably fell into the Leon Bailey category, where some people were a little bit unsure about going for him. But I don't think he's going to fall into the Leon Bailey category. I think he's going to fall into the I'm a decent player consistently category, which is what you're looking at. Just Keevan has been a member. He says, if you could eliminate one thing from football, what would it be? At the moment, there's loads of things. I think my top things would be VAR, or let me run it properly. Added time at the end of games this season, disgrace. 10 minutes, it's a joke. The 3 o'clock UK restrictions, I'd get rid of that. There's actually a lot wrong with football. That's why I do Goldbridge Saves Football. That's why we came up with that name, because I'm a moaner, and I think there is a lot wrong with football. Overpriced merch and tickets, yes. There's a lot wrong with it. It's a great game and we absolutely love it, but I think there are issues. Steele's just played it out from the back there. Steady start in the first 5 minutes. What did Ben Foster predict? I'm not doing Liverpool against Spurs, Liam, no. I would love to do it. I will be watching it, but I can't stream a watch-along for the simple reason that I will finish the United game, and then we've got all our after stuff like the fan forum and my match reaction and player ratings, which I don't think I'll be done by the time it kicks off anyway. And then also my Talk Sport show starts at 7:30, so Liverpool Spurs won't finish by 7:30 either. So it's just, I will be watching it, but I can't stream it, unfortunately. But sometimes it works out like that, doesn't it? It's a long time since I've watched a game of football and not streamed it, so that'll be quite interesting. Nice little ball over the top. Estebanan! Oh, it's a... Oh, God, I was looking at my points then. Of course, if you have listened to the podcast, we do a new game on a Friday now, which is called Goldbridge. So me and Will, the co-host on the podcast, we have to pick 5 players that we say are going to score this week, and we get a point for each. But there's 6 players, really, because the 6th player is a bonus defender. Now, I went with Botman this week, but I have got Estebanan in my team. Villa not got your backing after Brighton TikTok, says Bailey. Mate, the fact that Brighton are using me on their TikTok, I think it just shows you how big we are, in a sense that we're getting picked up by football clubs. Although they were taking the piss. What can you tell me about this lad who's playing in the midfield? I feel really ignorant about Hinchelwood, who plays for Brighton. I know I don't know much about him. 18 years of age. His name is Jack. But I don't really know much about him. Keep an eye out for him. Number 41. Too many wiping and shitting the bed jokes from Goldbridge lately. What's going on? I am here for it though, says Akshay. No, it's nothing to do with me. I didn't do it. It was Alex. He had a problem and he wanted some advice from Agony Bridge about, you know, what you do if your girlfriend craps the bed. And that was Hinshelwood there. Number 41. I mean, imagine that. Imagine if Brighton produce an 18-year-old superstar English player as well. That would be great. They produced a young Irish sensation. I mean, Brighton are just literally a breath of fresh air, aren't they? Which is quite funny actually, because if you've ever been to Brighton, you really do get a breath of fresh air on that pier. It really can be quite windy. Nice fish and chips. Avoid the seagulls. They will take your chips. Don't go sitting on the beach at Brighton Pier and thinking, oh, you'll be able to just eat your chips. Those bloody scarecrows, pigeons, seagulls, they've been doing it a lot longer than you. They're more efficient than De Zerbi ball. Like, they will literally, you'll be sat there looking out to sea with your chips, you'll look up and then you'll look down and they'll have been in and they'll be flying away. Basically, they would be going like that, but they're carrying the chips with their feet and they haven't got hands. They're using their wings to fly away. But they're ruthless. Very efficient. If you're going to get your chips at Brighton Pier, go and eat them on the pier on one of the chairs there. Harder for them to swoop in and get in. Sit on the beach, they've got you. Well, I suppose it's just, you know, not sink or swim, but it's certainly, man's got to eat. Is Brighton a nice place to visit, says Callum? It's on the south coast. I mean, the UK is not brilliant in relation to weather, so anywhere near the sea isn't necessarily good. Also, like some parts of the UK, the sea is swimmable. Other parts of it look like, you know, when you've had diarrhea and you look in the water, that's sort of the colour. Like if you go to Skegness or somewhere like that, it's brown. It's disgusting. But it's nice down in Brighton. Brighton Sea Life Centre is class, says Condiment King. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm actually really against putting fish into captivity. I'm very strong on that. Brighton's a good night out, says Izzy. Is Brighton safe? Well, I'm not vouching for Brighton. You know, you go to Brighton and you get bloody mugged. Oh, Goldbridge said it was safe. Have you ever been to Margate? Says Marcus. No, apparently it's a bit of a shithole though. I've been to Mablethorpe, which is near Skegness, and I've been to Skegness. And last time I went to Skegness was probably 30 years ago, and the sea was horrible then. So imagine what's happened now. Cornwall's nice. Anyway, back to the game. They're sort of cancelling each other out in the first 10 minutes. That's a horrible ball by Dunk. Why didn't he take a touch there? Maguire says, I can sleep easy. I don't know what he was thinking about doing that. But not really any chances going at the moment. Manta goes to Cornwall every year. No, it was Dave YouTube who goes there every year. Chelsea must be regretting getting rid of Gilmore, says Doctor Strange. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very, very welcome. Are you going to watch the Arsenal game? Well, Man United are playing at the same time. So what I propose to do on the United stand is I will have my OneFootball open and literally update everybody on all the goals that go in. Need a fanfic of Mark and Veghorst visiting Brighton, says Colin. And I think the fish would rather be behind the glass than on your dinner plate, says Lee. Yeah, but that's the circle of life, Lee. You know, it's not my fault if a haddock swimming in the North Sea gets caught and put in a bit of batter. Here we go. Villa 2v2. Diaby. Surely he passes. No. Well, you'd look at him there and say, good player, but needs to pass a little bit more because they were in a very good position. I think Villa should have scored then. When I was 5, I went down to the SeaWorld in Florida and they let us ride on the back of the dolphins, says Eggs. When's the next EAFC 24 episode, says Harshal? Monday. Although I'm thinking of doing a bonus episode tomorrow afternoon. I might do a draft or something because I'm working on a few things. I'm intensively being trained, to be honest. I refuse to leave Legendary, so I've had a few people reach out who are decent at the game and they're giving me tips. So I'll be back. I can take, if you saw the latest episode, it didn't go well. But, I will be back. And then people, I love it. I love it. I love the criticism because they ultimately I will win. That's what happens. Yeah, look, I'm not a big fan of fish in glass cages. That wouldn't work because the water would come out. Matty Cash, goal. Brilliant goal. Absolutely brilliant goal. If you've got Matty Cash in your FPL, that goal was fantastic. It was really, really good. He's in down the right side. He pops the cross in. Can I just say, Goldbridge Saves Football podcast, what did we say on the latest episode? Premier League team of the season so far. We went for Matty Cash at right back. He must have been listening because that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's a tap-in. Brilliant goal. He's onside as well. Really, really good. Really, really good. Just simple. Simple 1-2. Gets himself in down the right-hand side. And I tell you what, Ollie Watkins won't score an easier goal all season. That is a very, very good goal from Villa. And, yeah, look at him celebrating like he scored a worldie. Mate, my gran would score that. Ollie Watkins scored. So, look, tough start for Brighton. They're going to have to switch it on a little bit here. They've not started as well as they would like. And Villa are just popping it around quite comfortably at the moment. I mean, to be honest, on the goal, you'd probably look at Mitoma, wouldn't you? Wish United went in for Diaby. He's a baller, says Lee. Matty Cash definitely didn't score, Curtis. He got the assist. There's no doubt about it. Right, here's Mitoma. Good tackle by McGinn. Brighton just need to get hold of this game a little bit. Who was better, Van Persie or Berbatov? Says Turd. I go Van Persie, definitely. Yeah, I was saying there, I'm not a big fan of people putting fish into glass tanks. So, yeah, not a massive fan of it. And then people will say, but I bet you like fish and chips. Well, I do like fish and chips. Thank you very much. But that's different. They live in the wild and they get caught. Lovely ball over the top. Villa have been caught. Oh, he's got stuck under his feet. Solly Marsh, he's got a pass. Why is he not passing? He passes to Mitoma. And Mitoma, oh, that was a good chance for Brighton there. That was a good chance. They should have done better. Look, at the end of the day, if a fish is swimming in the North Sea and it gets caught and it ends up in a fish and chip shop, that's just stupid. It's like hide and seek, isn't it? You've been caught. That, unfortunately, when you get caught at hide and seek, normally it means you're on next. If you get caught as a fish, you're on a plate. Jack says liquid football. They're both playing rather well at the moment. Nice little play there, but they've lost the Brighton are losing the ball in silly situations, and Ollie Watkins is on it here. Good block again. Villa could put this game to bed if they're not careful. There's a Brighton player who went down injured. Oh, and Ollie Watkins, I thought he'd bent it in. It just went wide. Let me just say, your predictions before the game, 28% went with a Villa win, 22% went with a draw, and 50% went with a Brighton win. So at the moment, it's Villa who are winning. Emery seems to be De Zerbi's kryptonite. He beat him last year as well, says the HPN. Well, Emery is a fantastic coach, as we know. And this was always going to be a really good game if you didn't realise that. As I said a couple of years ago, Villa Brighton, who would want to watch that? Not many people. But I think this is one of the picks of the day. I think it's a cracker. And Villa are a very interesting side this year. I mean, I think it's not a shame because Villa fans and Brighton fans will be loving it, but the problem that Villa and Brighton may well have is Europe. Stuck in a shark cage or stuck in a room with Gabby Bonglahor? Well, one of them would be fear, the shark cage, and the other one would be death by stupidity, wouldn't it? So I'd probably rather just have a chat with Gabby Bonglahor. I don't like sharks. I get it. It's their habitat. Stay out of it. Oh, lovely ball. Too much. Back to Martinez. I probably will do a reaction video to Liverpool Spurs, yes, but as I say, I have my TalkSport call-in show tonight at 7:30. So, Tavis says the proof is in the pudding, Mark, and the pudding in this case is a football. So Villa leading 1-0. Lovely goal. Here's Matoma down the left-hand side. Matoma against Matty Cash. And he's not really getting a lot of joy at the moment, Matoma. That is the strong Brighton side. Lovely goal, like I say. Matty Cash overlapping right back. Put the cross in and Watkins couldn't miss. It was delightful. It was really delightful. And Villa will be loving it at the moment. And they were losing at half-time last week, Brighton. Home to Bournemouth. Trying to mix up with a long ball there. Not a lot you can do about the goal, really, from a defensive point of view. Sometimes you just got to say that Villa worked the opportunity really well. And, this is the trouble Brighton have got now. It's a very compact, organised Villa side, depriving them of space. And another mistake here, and this could be two. It's a bad mistake. He's got to chip this. He's got to go to the back post, Watkins. He's not. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You can't argue with that. That is a great goal by Watkins. He's on. He breaks away down the left-hand side. He maybe should pass. He cuts inside and bangs it in low. And Villa at the moment are making tidy work of Brighton. And it's a bad pass at the back again. And they're just gifting up goals. And De Zerbi, well, he's staring down the barrel of another defeat here. Yeah. It's just a bad pass by Veltman. And then they end up with a 3v3. And look, the option's there on the back post for Diaby. And he cuts inside. But he fancies himself. Realistically, I think when he cuts inside here, Watkins, he should probably still be going for the pass. It's the greed of a striker in form. Because he cuts inside here. And he finishes fantastically. X says, you've said you like the NFL before. What's your favourite team to go? Says X. I like the Cowboys. I do like the Cowboys, and I like the Bills because I like their quarterback and the way they play. Luke says Brighton are a bit overrated. They can't defend and they get lucky wins. Defensively, they're not strong. You're right. I'll tell you what. It will take a minor miracle for Villa to get back into this game. Damien, I'm not reading silly things like that out. Removed Watkins to put in Hoyland's cigar. Yeah, you know what? I don't have any Villa players in, but Watkins is probably a very good shout. Oh, they're checking for an offside here. Didn't see this. Goal given. Yeah, couldn't see an offside in it. Don't know what that was all about. See you later. Oh, I know. Yes, it's... Well, to be fair... To be fair, he's in the line of the goalkeeper, isn't he? Oh, God, it's nearly 3. What do you think then? Was that... What? Well, look, you know what? We do this. Was that an offside goal? Offside or not for Villa? Yes or no? Now, the context of it is Watkins shot. As he shoots, there's a Villa player right in front of the goalkeeper's eye line. Is he distracting him? I would give the goal, and I think they've made the right decision. My issue is we've seen them not give those goals. So it's just the inconsistency which you always get. I think they make a rod for their own back, you know, because basically it's the inconsistency that will wind people up. Is he in the line of the goalkeeper? Yes. Is he in an offside position? Yes. Technically, they shouldn't give the goal. But 1 week they will and 1 week they won't. And the problem is it probably shouldn't have been given. But you will see them given and you will see them not given. I think they should be given because I think it was a really good finish and it was individual work from Watkins. But yeah, he is clearly offside and he clearly is in line of the goalkeeper. So I don't know how he can't be interfering with play. But it's inconsistency. Are you ever going to do National League games, says Andrew? I don't do Championship games, so I don't know why I do National League games. And what club is the perfect fit for De Zerbi next, says Fraser? I think Man City. I think Man City would suit him next. Raphael says the player offside does not impact the goalkeeper at all. Like he's literally stood in his path, mate. That's why they checked it. I'd have to see it at half time to see it from the goalkeeper's perspective, but that's why they checked it. There was obviously a decision to make. Villa could win this by a lot. We're either going to get an absolute cracker or this is going to be over really quickly. It's 3. Great save. Steal. It is 3. Oh my God. It's absolute. It's Esteban with an own goal. He's in the fancy Premier League team. Esther Pratt. What a bloody joke. He scored at the wrong end. We don't want to be doing that. He scored at the wrong end. That's what she said. And it's 3-0 to Villa. This is an annihilation. An absolute annihilation. Wow. It's happening again. It happened with Everton last season. It happened with West Ham this season. I mean, is there a foul in the build-up? I think there's a foul in the build-up there. I think that's a foul on Jesse Marsh. I've got to say, this referee's really odd. Who is this ref? He's absolute shite. It's a great finish by Esteban. He's even looking at it as he falls over. That's a foul on Marsh. They're looking at... It's given the goal. That's a goal. That's definitely 100% a foul on Marsh. I tell you what, I cannot believe that goal's been given. It's a blatant foul. It's 3-0 anyway. It's 3-0. He's given the goal. Villa have been brilliant. I'm not taking anything away from Villa, by the way. I've even got the colours behind me. Brilliant performance from Aston Villa. 3-0 up after half an hour. What could it be? But in my opinion, it's 100% a foul on Solly Marsh. He wins the ball back and then the Villa player takes him down and then he's out of the game. So for me, it's a foul. But this ref's shit. He's done it about 3 times in this game. I've noticed he's done it for both teams. He just keeps letting it go. But a foul's a foul, mate. Like Villa had a foul then. Didn't give it. High foot. I don't think he knows the rules. Brighton nearly scored. Like, there's a foul on a Villa player. He's got his foot up. The Brighton player has got his foot up and he goes play on again. And Brighton should have scored. They've not shown the foul. I think there's going to be goals in this game. I don't know what this referee is on. He just doesn't seem to be giving any fouls. Man United 1999 says, I'm outside Old Trafford looking forward to games. Some friend was wondering, are you ever going to come watch any game? Man United, we love you. Here, predictions is Man United 99. And enjoy the game today, mate. Look, the referee's been bad for both. Like, he just doesn't seem to be giving any fouls in the midfield. Brighton should have scored there. There was a foul in the build-up. Here's Danny Welbeck, offside. Good save by Martinez, cheering at the fans. I might as well finish this. So, look. Offside. Was it a foul? Was it offside, the second goal? 61% of you said no. Was it a foul on the third goal? Yes or no? There you go. I was given a foul here. Right centre. Let's have a look at this. So it's a foul by Esteban. How's he given a foul for that? Have you just seen what the referee's given a foul for? Basically a shoulder barge off the ball. He's given a foul for, but he doesn't give the foul on Marsh. This ref's a joke. What's he called? Can we get a name for this ref? Because it's, you know, he's a bloody travesty. Andy Madley, fucking rubbish. You are rubbish at your job, mate. You are giving grassroots referees a bad name. Absolute joker. Vinnick says it's not a foul. Stop advocating for soft footy, and yet he's just given a foul for something that was a lot less, mate. So. VAR at fault as well. SMR, exactly. Right, Villa have got Villa 3-0 up here against Brighton. What did Ben Foster go for in win, lose or draw? Somebody tell me he didn't go for a Villa win, because I apparently did. I can't remember what he went for. Why did the VAR look at the foul on the zoomed out camera? The stupidity is unreal. Football is being ruined for me, says I'm all in. I can't believe how short time they looked at that foul as well. It was sort of like, we want to give this goal. I didn't bet on Brighton. I went with the Villa win. Ben Foster went with the draw. It's nearly 4. Ben Foster went with a draw. I went with the Villa win. Andy Madley is the referee, Sassy. No, he went with a Brighton win, apparently. Get Stuck In says, everyone needs to remember the difference between the quality of players in these two sides. Villa are supposed to be winning. Their squad is better. The emphasis the job, which emphasises the job De Zerbi has done. I also think Brighton are vulnerable to this. If they're not 100%, that's a yellow card. Yellow card there for Digne. Villa obviously have been beaten by... Brighton got stuffed by Everton at the end of last season. They got stuffed by West Ham a few weeks ago. They are vulnerable if they're slightly off to being stuffed, really. And obviously that's what's happening here. Brighton are having a bad day. I'm having a terrible day. Can I just tell you, on the fancy Premier League, if you've got Esteban like me, you might be on minus points. I'm on -1. He's currently -2. Esteban, but I've got 1 point for Matoma. It's not looking good, is it? Yeah, a lot of people have Esteban, don't they? Well, I didn't put him in the Premier League team this season. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on That's Football. Champions League watch-alongs this week as well. I'll tell you what we're doing. Everybody's welcome on here. We always have controversy. We always say it how it is. That's the way it should be. Villa, to me, been brilliant. But the thing is, you'll get Villa fans in the chat who are moaning about the people saying it was a foul. That's just because, the way I look at it is I see 3 entities on the pitch. There's Brighton, there's Aston Villa, and there's the officiating. And Villa have been brilliant. Brighton haven't been very good, and the officiating has been terrible. And that's where Villa fans will lose here, because they'll start thinking it's personal against them. Villa have been brilliant. Brighton haven't been very good, and the officiating has been shit. But Villa fans will take it personally, going, oh, it wasn't a foul, it wasn't a foul. I get that, it's red-tinted glasses, but I'm telling you now, there was a foul on Marsh in the build-up for the 3rd goal. 100%. 100%. And, VAR should be picking that up. They have got an 18-year-old in the midfield. It's all your fault. Please stop streaming, says Thug. Hey, look. Chat shit, get banged, Brighton. You can clip that up. They came after me when they beat United with their little TikToks. I put my pink lights on for Villa. Chat shit, get banged. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Man United might not be able to do it, but, Villa can. Why do people ask if you're ever going to go to a game? Imagine the tears if you happen to ever miss a watch-along, says Nick P. I will be going to a game this year. It's been too long. Can you wish Preston North End luck today against West Brom, says Harvey. I don't know whether Goldbridge luck is a good thing or a bad thing. And this match is why people should remember that all teams play in the Premier League. Any issues that Man United face will eventually impact every team, says Les. Who's your favourite team from every league, each division, says Ziggy. I used to do that when I was about 9. Oh, look at Esteban. He's having a terrible game. Brighton just can't get themselves going here. Wolfpack is a Villa fan and says, even as a Villa fan, I think it was a foul. Was given a foul right on the edge of the box here. Esteban's having a shit game. I'd sub him off. Do you ever go fishing, says Jenks. I mean, I think that probably is a foul. This is a great free kick position for... you know what? When I was playing Goldbridge, which is this game we do on the podcast where you have to pick 5 scorers from the weekend and you get a point for everyone who scores. We have a bonus defender. I did think about Digne and I went for Botman. And I tell you what, if Digne takes this free kick and scores, I could have got me bonus points. I can't remember what Will went with as his defender. Oh, I need to write it down. Who scored the 3rd, says Matt. Esteban. Own goal. Digne straight into the wall. Luis over the bar. Oh, you went with Tarkovsky. Thank you. Oh, people clearly listening to the podcast. Thank you very much. Remember to give the podcast a listen. Links in the live chat. We did our Premier League team of the season so far in the first 10 minutes. A very good listen and some very good names. Gordon says, what's going on with Brighton? A very rough start today. They just... They're losing the midfield battle. Let's be honest. Call it for what it is. That midfield just doesn't work. The 18-year-old and Gilmore, it's just not working. They're losing. Brighton, Villa. If you look at Villa, they're very narrow. They're playing really narrow, and they are suffocating Brighton high up the pitch. And to me, it feels like Villa have got 12 players and Brighton have got 10. Welbeck's going to get booked. Why people don't talk about how overrated Mudryk is, Mario Franco? Because we're watching Brighton Villa. Yeah, definite yellow card for Welbeck there. Yeah, but Brighton today, they're just getting absolutely swallowed up in that middle. And sounds good. It's interesting because United played a diamond against them for 10 minutes. Well, for 15 minutes at Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago. And he changed it tactically, and then they ended up winning the game. So I'm surprised he hasn't changed it 7 minutes from half time. Yeah, Woo's absolutely spot on. They're just not letting Brighton play through the middle. And everybody knows Brighton will play out from the back, which is what they do. And Emery's just dealt with it perfectly. Hi, Mark. Just got past the surgery. Loving the content. God bless. Also, Brighton is so weak on the counter. It's crazy, says Bronzy. They've hardly had any chances as well. That's the main thing. I mean, Villa, if we look at the stats of this game. Here we go. Matoma's got it. Let me just wait and see what happens here. Foul. 10 shots to 2, 4 on target to 1. Brighton might have had a little bit more possession, but they're doing nothing with it. And it won't stay 3-0. I think it will go higher than that. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. You're all very welcome. That's what I was going to look at, actually. What watch-alongs have we got coming up this next week? I am going to do Chelsea-Fulham on Monday because I think it's going to be massive. I actually think there's a chance that Fulham beat Chelsea, and if they do, Pochettino is surely in a position where he needs to go. But Villa are on the attack here again with Diaby. Little dink to the back post, headed away. Brighton get rid of it. So we're doing Fulham-Chelsea on Monday night at 8 o'clock. Tuesday night, I'll be doing Man United-Galatasaray because that's on the United stand. And then Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, I'm going to do What a Game. What a Game. 8 o'clock. Hold on a minute. Diaby. Good tackle. He's still in the box, though. They can't get near him at the moment. He lays it off. I'll tell you what, it's relentless Villa at the moment. Newcastle PSG, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. What a game that's going to be. Live watch along for you then. Thursday, got no interest in it. If you're a Liverpool fan, you could watch them play Union St. Gilles. Brighton game might be quite interesting, actually. Away to Marseille at 5:45. West Ham are away to Freiburg at 5:45 as well. God, I love not having to do Thursday night football anymore. It might come back at some point, but it's great that we don't have to do it. But yeah, Newcastle PSG on Wednesday. Looking forward to that. Good point for Newcastle in Milan. Bit lucky, but good point. Here's Matoma down the left-hand side. They'd love a goal before half-time. And they're not going to get it. They're way off the pace, Brighton, today at the moment. I think De Zerbi's going to go absolutely mad in that dressing room, isn't he? I haven't got a belt. I've not put my belt on. I hate not wearing a belt. Pull your jumper down. Are you planning on coming to any England games in America for the World Cup, or are you just going to stream, says Beers? I mean, I might be dead by then. It's 3 years away. I don't even plan 3 weeks away, mate. 62% of you said it was a foul on the third goal on Solly Marsh, which I think it clearly was, in my opinion. Villa up to 4th. Well, the league table's on the screen for you, surely. I saw it a minute ago. As it stands, Aston Villa into 4th place. They would still be behind Brighton on goal difference, but obviously if they score one more, I think they go ahead of them. Comfortably been the better side. I think Liverpool will win tonight. 2 minutes to go to half time. Some interesting things to look at half time in relation to the goals conceded. I've played the game, says A, and this is liquid football from Villa, says Tavis. Oh, you've got to be over the moon. You've got to be over the moon. Bit of space down the right-hand side for Brighton. It's hard. 3-0's, 2-0, mentally you think there's maybe a chance. 3-0, not many teams come back from 3-0. And psychologically for Brighton, not many teams come back from 3-0 against Villa either. Do you think, here's a point about Brighton, do you think De Zerbi rotates too much? It's very hard to know what team he picks week to week. He does change he just change it a lot. What was the name of that player that got injured as well? I think he was a massive loss. Was it Enciso? I thought, very, very good player. Here they are on the edge. Esteban. Offside. Enciso, yeah. Where's Gross? Where is Gross? This is what I mean. They rotate so much. You forget really important players for them. I presume Gross is probably injured. Let me have a look. Where's Pascal? Not on the bench. Must be injured, yeah. Dawood's on the bench. It's a problem though. I was on about this on the United stand last night. It's gonna be a problem that hits a lot of teams, and they you just don't have the quality. Not everybody's Man City. You can't carry the injuries that everyone's getting at the moment. I mean, Man United barely have a back five, but you lose a couple of players, and teams like Brighton are gonna struggle for depth. Leeds are losing 3-0 at half-time to Southampton in the Championship. But regardless of a couple of dodgy decisions, I think Villa have comfortably deserved to be winning this game. My mate Aaron O'Brien loves McTominay. Talk some sense into him, says Kian. He's not the only one. There's a few people who think he's all right. I just think they like him. I don't think they actually like him as a footballer. I think they just like him. Lovely play. That's going to be a foul there. Well, I think second half we'll probably see a difference. Watkins is playing brilliantly here. Lovely cut back, good block, another shot, good block. Digne. I think Villa, the way it's going, Villa will be thinking we could win this by 5 or 6. Like, it's got that sort of a feel to it. You don't see a Brighton comeback at all. It's I told you it'd be a cracking game, and I told you there'd be goals in it, and lo and behold, it has. That's what she said. Brighton deserve this with an exclamation mark. There you go. Well, I'm frightened for Brighton. That sort of rhymes. In the second half, I'm frightened for Brighton because I think there's more goals here. Dan, thank you very much for your super chat. One thing I did just want to have a quick look at is the next few games for Aston Villa after today. Because if they can get a win here, put themselves firmly into the top four, their next game is Wolves. Obviously, they've got... oh God, I don't know who even... This sounds like a Halloween character. So on Thursday at 8 o'clock, Aston Villa are playing Zrinjski Mostar. Zrinjski Mostar. Sounds like a character from bloody Transylvania, that cartoon. Anyway, then they play Wolves at home, Wolves away, West Ham at home, Luton at home, and Forest away, Fulham at home. I tell you what, Villa's next 5 games, there's a really good chance that they won't really drop many points. So it's a massive result for Villa if they get this, and then they should do. They should do, but they've got some really good games to come. When the ref's about to blow it. What a half. What a half of football from Aston Villa. I almost want to applaud them myself, which would be probably a little bit too much, but they have been incredible. Roger says it's time to get some Villa players in for your FPL. He's a good player to bring in as well, Zaniolo. Maybe not an FPL, but like just a very good signing. How much do you think Brighton would want for Ferguson next summer? Love from South Africa, says Christoph. Mate, they'll probably want 100 million. Whether he's worth that or not. But Brighton will want that. See, another half of football in the Premier League. Fucking 5 minutes. Not sustainable, ladies and gentlemen. This is not sustainable to add an extra 10 minutes onto every Premier League game. It's just not sustainable. And you'll see. You'll see. Coming to a club near you soon. Massive injury crisis. Half time. And there is only one praise point here. And it's Aston Villa. They've been absolutely incredible. They've demolished the old Brighton today. They're 3-0 up at half time. And as we look at the stats there, yeah, Brighton have had more of the possession, but what have they done with it? 14 shots to 2, Aston Villa. 5 on target to 1. 3 goals to 0. They've had no corners in the game. No corners in the game. But it started off with a lovely overlap by Matty Cash. Delightful cross. I'd have finished it. Second goal, Ollie Watkins, individual. Lovely finish in the bottom corner. I'd like to see where the Villa player was stood, because I do think he's in the line of the goalkeeper. But look, it would be, to be honest, it would be an injustice if Villa weren't winning by at least 2 goals. The third goal ends up being an own goal for Brighton from Esteban. But what I would say is that there's definitely a foul in the build-up. But that's nothing against Aston Villa. We don't need to criticise Aston Villa for that. It's not their fault. You play to the whistle, 100%. As I say, I think too often the team that gets away with the official decision takes it personally. Aston Villa, brilliant. Brighton, poor. Officiating, poor. That's the assessment of it. There should have been a foul on the third goal. It wasn't given. Villa took advantage, 3-0, and they're good for it. Brighton just having another game that they can have. They seem to have one of these games every few weeks, and they have been the better side. There's no two-way about it. What's going on here? Yeah, they've been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And they deserve to be leading at the moment. He keeps making too many changes and changes his keeper, says Mario. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm a big fan of Brighton, and I think we're all a big fan of Brighton, but I think, obviously, you can almost get a bit too clever for your own good. And I have said this before, and I said it in that game, in that first half as well. Do you think he rotates his team a little bit too much? In the sense that I look at that Villa side, that Brighton side. Well, I look at that Villa side. I think it's quite stable. And there's a real contrast. You know he's going to go with McGinn and Louise and Diaby and Watkins, and you know those players are going to play, and you know his back five. But I never know what the front five or six for Brighton's going to be game to game. I don't know what his best front six is. Sometimes Pedro plays and Ferguson doesn't. Sometimes Welbeck plays and doesn't. I mean, Matoma's quite consistent in being picked. I know they've got a couple of injuries, but they do rotate a lot. And that league table is looking very interesting at the moment. Brighton and Villa locked on the same points. Villa get a couple more goals in the second half, which I think looks quite likely. And they would go above Brighton. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see who is second place tonight. Because you've bloody changed it, you cheeky git. But when you look at that league table tonight, Liverpool are currently second. If Spurs were to win, they'd go above them. And if they were, even Arsenal could end up back in second place tonight. I think there's a scenario where they could do it as well. So probably unlikely, but that race for top four at the moment, I've got to say, that race for top four at the moment, I keep saying United will be in the race for fourth, but you look at it at the moment, you've got Man City who will win the league, but then you've got Liverpool, probably Brighton, probably Villa, probably Spurs and Arsenal. That's 5 teams going for the top 6 positions. The competition for that top 6, and obviously Newcastle and Man United will want to be part of it as well. But they've already got a little bit of a gap on Newcastle and Man United anyway. A 5-point gap from Arsenal down to them. So got to be a bit careful because those, like I say, Liverpool, Brighton, Villa, Spurs and Arsenal, they're setting the pace. They're setting the early pace at the moment. And Addy says United have got no chance of top 4. Well, United have got to win this afternoon. I'm doing that at straight after this at 3 o'clock actually on the United stand. We've got to win that. We really do. What about West Ham, says Tommy? Well, I think West Ham have had a couple of difficult fixtures. They've obviously played Liverpool and Manchester City. No one's really going to expect them to get anything out of that. But home to Sheffield United, win that, keep yourself up there, definitely, 100%. So many good 3 o'clocks today as well. If United weren't playing, I'd be doing a 3 o'clock show on That's Football, but they are. So I'll be keeping an eye on all of those games on the United stand as United play Palace, Everton play Luton, Bournemouth host Arsenal, Newcastle play Burnley, West Ham host Sheffield United, and Wolves host Manchester City. And then, of course, it's Tottenham-Liverpool at 5:30. I can't do a watch-along for that because I've got my TalkSport show on 7:30 tonight, which will be on YouTube and National Radio, and I'll be finishing up doing the United stuff after 5 o'clock. But I'll certainly be keeping an eye on that one. What a cracking day of football it is. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on That's Football. We're well over 1 million subscribers. Just reminded myself. Although it's mine and I'm holding it, you wonder what I'm going to do now. This is a big thank you to all of you. It's finally arrived. As you can see, there it is. That's Football for passing 1 million subscribers. So well done to all of you lot for subscribing and getting involved. That came last week, and I've just been meaning to show you for a while. So thank you very much. Obviously mainly to me, but Will's a part of it. He does a bit. Ryan, Matt, and a couple of others, but mainly me and you. So big shout out to all of you for that. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, bottom right hand corner. 2nd million subscriber channel. It's like having a meal at the end of the day. It's just like having a bath. Standard. But no, I don't think that at all. I think it's fantastic what we've achieved, and thank you to all of you for that. Dan says Konza is the most underrated player in the league. Disgrace that Prattgate has never called him up to England squad. He's phenomenal, says Dan. Well, I think there's so many good centre backs, isn't there? I think Dunk's a good centre back. Tamori, Colwell, Konza, but he's obsessed with Maguire, isn't it? That's what he is. He's obsessed with Maguire. Is it real gold? Says Edmund. No. It's wood sprayed gold. But no, seriously, thank you to all of you. You make it possible. And let's keep it. The journey goes on. Let's keep it going. Which reminds me, actually, we've entered the podcast world. So if you've got a couple of seconds, please just click the live chat and download the podcast so you can give it a listen later. It's doing really, really well at the moment. We've just invented. Well, I'll take the credit. Invented a new game. So I do the win, lose or draw on this channel against Ben Foster each week. Oh, this is it. This is it. We need to see from behind. So they're showing the second goal here. Watkins shoots. Is the goal. This is the one you need to see. Watkins shoots. And it's hard to tell. Hard to tell whether he's in the way of the keeper there. Saw a butterface this morning. I'm heartbroken. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. A Dre. Second one. This is a foul on Jesse Marsh. That is 100% a foul on Jesse Marsh. How is he not given that? How is he not given that? Jesse Marsh wins the ball back. Not Jesse Marsh. Solly Marsh. I keep calling him Jesse Marsh. He leads ex-coach. Look, foul. It's just a blatant foul. How have they not given that? Solly Marsh, how have they not given that? I think the second one probably wasn't in the line of vision, so we'd give that. But the third goal was a foul. I can't believe that. I really can't. What's going on here? It's all right. I know what's going on here. Turn it off. No. 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 Yes. Don't worry, it's not 3-0. It's not 0-0, it's 3-0. There we go. It's all right. I know they're just getting set up to go live on the United stand. Moz says it's not a foul. Mate, if that's not a foul, I don't think you know what a foul is. He literally lands on his ankle and stops him from taking the ball away. I mean, look, seriously, Villa have been brilliant. I'm not even saying anything against Villa. We're talking about the referee, and if your brain can't compute that, even as a Villa fan, you're an idiot. Like, it's the most blatant foul I've ever seen. He falls on his ankle and stops him from, getting the ball. It's a foul. Villa completely deserve to be in front. They've been brilliant, but I'm not criticising Villa. I'm criticising the officials. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible decision. What do we think is going to happen in the second half? There'll be goals. There will be goals. 100%. I think there will be goals. We've got a very interesting game going on here, and I just think Brighton will attempt to come back into it. So yeah. Leedy just said it can be accidental and still be a foul. Oh, come on. We really haven't got a prat in the chat who thinks if you do something accidental, it's not a foul. Come on. When did you start watching football? Today? You were today years old. Come on. Ultimately, it would still be 2-0 to Villa anyway, and it might be 3-0 because they might have gone and scored another one. But, it's not huge in the sense of there's been an injustice. I just think, yet again, it's just crap officiating. And as I've said before, if we've got no VAR, I don't mind him getting it wrong. You just go, that's a bad mistake, referee's fault. I don't mind that. What annoys me is the referee has not seen it, and VAR has not done anything about it. That's the problem. We were talking on the podcast this week, get rid of VAR. And I know it's a big statement, but get rid of it. It's not being used properly, so get rid of it. Like, there's no point in having it. Referee on the pitch should see it, misses it. VAR gets to watch it like we did. It's a foul. Goal still gets given. Just get rid of VAR. There's no point in having it. Because it's just irritating people when we understand the pitch referee might be crap at his job, but there's a fucking replay button where you can watch it and just make the right decision. That's the frustration, I think. Pratwell's on VAR, says Adam. But you know what? Until fans actually do something about it, it happens every week. Might be Arsenal today who get it in the 3 o'clocks. Maybe it'll be Liverpool at 5:30. You will get it, and until we all come together and say, this is not acceptable, do something about it, we're basically in the hands of a dictatorship who just roll Dermot Gallagher out on a Monday and go, at the end of the day, he could have broke his ankle, but he didn't. It's a goal. You know, and you get the same old shit every week. Like, it's just terrible. Could the new 30k Miami season ticket prices make other clubs think about increasing? Says that card guy. I've not even heard about this. What are we talking about? Final score predictions. Lynx reckons it's going to be 6-2. It could be. It could be. I certainly think Villa will score again because they look like they're going to score on every attack. I mean, Brighton might not score any. It could be 6-0. But yeah, but they're not playing particularly well. I'm just getting a little bit excited about my win, lose or draw here. Let me have a quick look. That's football. So win, lose or draw is me against Ben Foster every week. I'm 3 points up on the season. But I don't know. I think I went with a Villa win. 30k a season ticket to watch Messi. Is that what it's all about? Oh, that's a joke. That's a joke. Do you think there's any way back for Brighton? Look, did anybody think there was a way back for Newcastle against Arsenal when it was 4-0 all those years ago at half time? No, they didn't. And they were wrong. What did I do? Ben went for Brighton to win. I went for a Villa win. 1-0. Well, don't want to get... well, hopefully I'm right. Do you think Ipswich can go up to the Prem, says Shulkar? They've got a good chance at the moment. Of course they have. Players are coming out onto the pitch now. Let's get ready for part 2. I need to put that... I need to put that down there. That's what she said. Done that 3 times today already. Well, there's 3 substitutions for Brighton here. I agree. They've got to go for it. 3 substitutions. Let me update you with what they are. Fati is coming on. Who would have thought Ansu Fati would be playing for Brighton? Hey, who would have predicted that? Lamptey's coming on as well. I'd say Veltman's coming off. Or Estebanan. He's not made any changes in the midfield. No, he's took off Estebanan, who's had a crap game. And put Lamptey at left back. Moses says it's not VAR, it's the implementation that's the problem, and the fact that the FA does not hold the referees and organisers accountable for mistakes. Lack of accountability leads to complacency, says Moses. Yes, they use VAR to back up the referee on the pitch. They don't use VAR to be consistent. You're absolutely spot on. Yeah, not a good start to my fantasy Premier League. Estebanan, own goal, 3 conceded, and off at half time. He literally is going to get like -2, isn't he now? Eddie says, I woke up at 7 a.m. to watch this game and the game has been horrible. Eddie, what are you talking about? It's been an absolute cracker. I think he's took Ferguson off as well at half time. No, Welbeck's off, Ferguson's off, and Estebanana's off. Pedro, Fati, and Lamptey off. Yeah, pretty to the point. Might be a Brighton fan there. Watkins has gone down injured here. I mean, you'd hope it's not too serious. Bloody hell. Does anybody watch that shit? I can't say what it is. If you guess it, I'll tell you, but I can't say. I've lost the chat. I won't be able to read it. Run for home. Yeah, I mean, look, there is a very good point to be made about Brighton. And that is that they are boxing way above their weight. Which I think we know. But I don't think, despite that, I don't think anybody would have really predicted this sort of a result today. They've been incredible, Villa. And they can sort of conserve a bit of energy here, I think, Villa. And just counter. But I think there'll be more goals here. Brighton just knocking it around the back at the moment. Mister says there's no way that Villa will get top four. Well, there's no way they should get top four either. I mean, if we're being honest, they really shouldn't be getting top four because that's not what they're... you know, I think people run away with this. What Newcastle did last season, and I know they're Saudi owned now, and ultimately that they are going to hope that their plan is to end up being Man City. But what Newcastle achieved last season probably doesn't get the credit that it deserves because it was sensational. And I think people too casually took a goal for Brighton. There might be an offside in it. Fati scores. Don't know whether it's going to get given. Hold your horses. Let's have a look in the build-up. Matoma, nice little slide rule. That's not offside. No. There'll be a penalty if it's not. It's a goal. That's a goal. There's no two ways about it. That's a goal. Be ridiculously unlucky. They'll give a penalty if it's not a goal. The ball's not gone out there. No way is that ball out. Keeps it in. Passes it back. Yeah, that's not offside. Yeah, that's a goal. If they don't give this, and look, you never know with VAR, but if they don't give this goal, I'm going to go fucking mad because that is a goal. They've got to give it. There's no angle that you can't give it. But you never know with these prats in charge of VAR. You just don't know. You certainly can't give offside for that. Oh, come on. The way they're looking at this, I'd be worried if I was a Brighton fan. This will be an absolute farce if they don't give it. They've either got to give a penalty or give the goal. Why are they looking at it so much? Like they should be in his ear going, look, it's either penalty or a goal. Give the goal. It's a goal or a penalty. Like Mark says, it's the most blatant thing. They can't give offside because if they give offside, it's a penalty. Like he kicks through the back of his foot. I'm going to be stunned. I'll be stunned if they don't give a penalty here or a goal. Yeah. I can't. They've given the goal. Like they should have just given the goal. Like it was just so obvious. Yeah, people who are saying it's offside don't understand the offside rule. It's a goal. Like Jacob said, it's definitely a goal. Like there's nothing offside about that. Took them 3 minutes to do that. Oh, the clock's not working. Sorry. Didn't turn it on. We are not on 45 minutes. We're not on 45. Well, it's 3-1. Game on. Could there be a way back? 52 minutes here. 52, 53. Imagine. Do you reckon Villa can push for top four, Marks, as well? Well, Villa have got to be careful here now because it's a 2-goal lead with 40 minutes to go. Anything could happen now. As a Villa fan, I think it will be a draw, says Ryan. I'll tell you what, I'm starting to think we might get a draw. Looks like a substitution here for Brighton, for Villa. It still says 3-0. Yeah, who got the assist? Doc knows. If they give an assist, he was offside, so... There we go. Stretch time. Villa need to up the ante a little bit here. They really do. They've... Brighton have got that early goal. It will give them a chance, and Villa need to up it a little bit here. Nice hoodie, says Boo. Get it from the United Stand Shopify. If you want to get it, we do ship them worldwide. We could. Some people are saying 3-4 to Brighton. I think we're a little bit far off that. You know, Villa have still played very, very well. Brighton have scored a goal at the start of the second half, but I think you're misjudging how well Villa played. I don't think Villa are out of this. It's not like they're a smash and grab. They were the better team in the first half by a long way. No assist, just a fatty goal. Next goal is going to be key here. Oh, that was a terrible pass. Terrible pass. Offside. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're all very welcome on That's Football, as per usual. I'm going to be on the United Stand straight after this. Man United Palace. I'm worried. about Man United against Brighton, against Palace, to be honest with you. Defensively, it's going to be a bit of a misshape. I think we'll have to move Amrabat out to left back again. We should be okay, but I think it could be a tough. I'm calling it. It might be a tough game for United later. Really could. Hopefully not, but it could be. But that's for later. This is for now. Cracking game so far. Team news for United should be coming out very soon. Oh, I think I might have a bit of news. I've got some news on the United team. Amrabat left back. Casemiro, Mount, Bruno, midfield 3. Pellistri, Højlund, Rashford. So I'm figuring this out. United team looks to me like it's a Nana. Must be Delo at right back. Lindelof and Varane. Amrabat looks like he's left back. Mount looks like he's playing in a midfield 3 with Casemiro. That's what I mean. It's risky, isn't it? It's risky. Super chat. What were the Prats looking at? You can't be offside if the ball goes backwards. It took 3 minutes. We have clowns in charge, says Archie. I don't know what they're looking at, mate. I don't think they know the rules, really. If you watch this game, this is one of the worst officiated games we've seen. On the bench for United, Maguire's on the bench, Eriksen's back on the bench, McTominay's back on the bench, Hannibal as well, Garnacho, usual suspects, Martial. Front 3 for United's Pellistri, which is good, Rashford and Højlund. Steph says, we could have played Lindelof at right back, Delo left back, and Maguire and Varane as centre-back pairing. Amrabat midfield with Bruno. Erik Ten Hag really doesn't rate Maguire, says Steph. Yeah, but do you? I can't argue with Ten Hag there. I wouldn't play Maguire either. Lovely play by Matoma. Foul off the ball. It's got to go back for the foul. I tell you what, Villa need to have a word with themselves here. They've just gone a little bit, we've done the job, and you haven't done the job. Lovely play by Matoma. Leicester to Glory says Maguire was class against Palace. I'd love to meet your partner. I guarantee it's not looking good. If you think Maguire was class against Palace, then your standards are in the bin. Another sub here for Palace, for Brighton. Did you see Ref Watch, Mark? What a disgrace, says Rudolph the Red. Nah, I don't listen to it anymore. It's Propaganda Watch. I don't even call it Ref Watch. Propaganda Watch. It's sponsored by the Referees Association. Good cross. I tell you what, Villa are hanging on here. They can't afford to concede another goal. It's too long left. Villa, I tell you what, somebody just said there, I've got to give him a shout out. Ninja says, Villa's defence is bad. Newcastle showed how you expose the high line. They do play a high line. It's a game of two halves here at the moment. It really is a game of two halves. Villa, first half, dominated Brighton. Second half, Brighton have dominated Villa. And it's almost about who can score more goals quick. Another substitution here for Brighton. I tell you what, you can tell that Dawood wants to come on. He's up on his feet all the time. Solly Marsh coming off. Adringa comes on. Love will tear us apart again. Why does VAR take so long on obvious decisions? Most of those added minutes come from those Pratt, says Nigel. Yes, they do. Well played, keeper. United team is Anana, Delo, Varane, Lindelof, Amrabat, back four. Mount, Casemiro, Bruno, midfield three. And then Rashford, Højlund and Pellistri. Crystal Palace side, if you're interested in it. Johnston, Ward, Mitchell, Guehi, Ayew, Eze, Mateta, Schlupp, Anderson, Hughes, Decore. Much stronger Palace. It's a completely different game. Completely different game and a completely different Palace side that played on Tuesday night. So I'm worried about it, but I think it should be. I think we should be all right. Hopefully, I take a 1-0 win. Just need to win. You look at the quality of Liverpool and Arsenal and Brighton and Villa and Spurs and even West Ham at the moment, and United just need to win. What have we got? Half an hour to go. Hi Mark, how was your day been? I'm hoping for a Newcastle win, but Sven Botman's out for a month. What? Are you joking, Gromit? I've got him in my score game to score. Well, he ain't going to score then if he's out injured for a month. That's something I should have looked at. Andy had a Dre situation today. Happens to the best of us. He's not out for a month, says Jordan. He is out for a month, says Liam. Yeah, the stats carousel's not working because it's being used on the United stand at the moment. Whenever we cross over, we can't use the same system. So I had to turn it off and go to a static score overlay. I can't turn it back on. So, because they're live on the United stand. If you want to get them, OneFootball, links in the video description. Download it for free. Oh, lovely ball by McGinn. Watkins should have hit it first time. You'd think on a hat-trick he would. He didn't need to. It's 4-1, and I think that's the game. Hat-trick for Watkins. He could have gone first time. He's gone second time. He's deflected it in, and Brighton's defence is miserable, which is basically what they have been today. Absolutely incredible. What a game for him, and what a performance today. He's been absolutely on it, confident, on it. Gareth Southgate's actually watching it. Don't know whether Southgate picks him normally. Think he probably does. If he doesn't, then he really should be. He's playing in a top 4 Premier League side and he's scoring hat-tricks against another top 4 Premier League side. Little bit fortunate. It deflects up over the keeper, but that's what you do as a striker. You get into a position, you have your shot, and in it goes. I mean, I'm looking at the trajectory anyway. Yeah, it wasn't going to go in. Keeper would have saved it. 4-1 to Aston Villa. It's a domination today. That there's no other way of talking about it. I think there was a way back for Brighton. They needed to score next. Chris says, can we sell Brighton Harry Maguire? I think they'd say no. Did Watkins get picked in the last England squad? I don't pay. It was a John McGinn assist, by the way. Thank you very much to Drew. I don't pay enough attention. I don't pay any attention to England really. I just laugh every time he picks Maguire and Phillips. So Watkins didn't get picked in the last one, and Nketiah did. Brighton have been battered in Birmingham, says Ilyas. Slow sports news from Luke. He's given out the United 11, which we've already done. Holt End is bouncing, says Tom. I wish I had Watkins in my fancy Premier League team, and if you have got him, well done. Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again. Brighton, Mitoma shot over the bar. What did you think about that Troy Deeney clip where he said he could do what Harry Kane does? I thought it was funny. Yeah, I thought it was funny. But you know, you've got to back yourself, haven't you, as a coach? You've got to back yourself as a player. Where'd you get the hoodie from, says Hussam? If you go United Stand Shopify, just type it in. You will find it. Very nervous to see if Maddison starts today. Spurs are not dangerous without him, and I think we go for Eze in January, says Spencer. There is a bit of a doubt over whether Maddison will start today. I've seen there's a bit of a doubt over Saliba and Saka as well. How on Botman, we think he'll be out for 3 months, no surgery required, which is good news, but he's in a boot. I mean, look, I don't think that's a sort of I don't think that's an injury for Botman if it's true that's because of volume of games. You are naturally going to pick up injuries that happen anyway, but I do think the volume of football will lead to more injuries. We've seen it at Manchester United, and that's a hell of a lot of an issue for Newcastle, isn't it? It's, you know, it really is. Poor old Brighton. I think they had a go, but when you're 3-0 down at half time, there's not really a lot you can do. Bit of pushing and shoving here. Keep an eye out, referee. This referee could do anything. He really could. didn't really see what happened. Oh, he's got a yellow out. Don't worry about it. Little bit of pushing and shoving. Let's have a look. Fatty with a bit of a push. Grabbed his collar. Yellow card for both. Common sense prevails. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Don't forget, we'll be on the United stand straight after this. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Saka's starting for Arsenal. Thank you very much. Ant. United's lineup's out. Yeah, we gave it 10 minutes ago. Don't want to be... Not that we were, like, showing off, but we did get it. I might do a FIFA draft tomorrow, Jack. I might stream it. I'll see how I feel. There's not a lot going on tomorrow, is there? I'm definitely not watching Forest play... Is it Brentford? No, it can't be Brentford. Who Forest got tomorrow? It's the only televised game. Son will start for Spurs. Yes, Ali, he's not injured. Havertz starts for... Oh, well, I'll go through... Oh, yes, they are playing Brentford. It's Arsenal playing Bournemouth. I'm getting mixed up. We should be able to go through some of the lineups that are coming out. There's a lot of 3 o'clock games today going on. So the Arsenal lineup for today is Raya in goal. Surprise, surprise. Where's this rotation, Arteta? Because you were lying. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Odegaard, Rice and Havertz, and then Saka, and Nketiah and Jesus. Villa are on the attack here. I just want to make sure that we see what's going on there. Haaland starts for Man City. Alvarez, Doku, Foden, Nunez, Kovacic. They'll probably win that 3 or 4-0, I reckon. Who else should we have a look at? Newcastle play Shah and Lascelles, no Botman, Byrne, Trippier, Longstaff, Gomeres, Anderson, Almiron, Isaac and Gordon. Obviously Pope's in goal. United we'd already given you, but it's Onana, Dalot, Lindelof, Varane, Amrabat, Mount, Casemiro, Pellistri, Bruno, Rashford, Hoyland. Is Calvert-Lewin playing? Yeah, I've got him to score today. He's one of my scorers. Yeah, Arteta hasn't played Ramsdale once, has he? Oh, he played him against Brentford in midweek, says Cheese Slice. Wow, that's not rotation. That's like Ortega playing for Man City, isn't it? That's not rotation. That's not what De Zerbi's doing. De Zerbi plays the Ruggan and then Steele, 1 week and then the next. This second half has flown by, hasn't it? Konza grabs Fatty by the collar, already on a yellow and no second yellow, given Casemiro gets thrown in prison for that, says DJ. People wanting De Zerbi over Ten Hag, sit down, says Damon. I don't think Konza was already on a yellow. I think he's just got a yellow for that, didn't he? I might have missed that, but I don't think he was already on a yellow. I think Fatty got a yellow and Konza got a yellow for the incident. Oh, okay. I will be tweeting about that. Villa on the attack. Headed away. That's shocking. That's absolutely shocking that he was on a yellow card and Fatty gets a yellow for kicking him up the bum, but Konza doesn't get one for grabbing him by the shirt. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Look, if I was a Brighton fan, Well, I'm not even a Brighton fan. I think the officiating's been absolutely shite today. And it takes nothing away from the result. Villa would have won the game anyway. The officiating's got nothing to do with Villa. Villa have played really well. But Matoma wants a handball here. I don't think there was much of a claim for it. Mark, do you think Villa will get Champions League, says Jay? I don't think they'll get Champions League because I think it would be a miracle. I think they can get Champions League, but I don't think people should be thinking they're going to get Champions League. I think it's ridiculous that people think that they will. Mark, can you explain that second yellow through the eyes of Dermot Gallagher? So this is what I call propaganda watch on Monday. Dermot, can you explain to us why Fatty gets a yellow? And I mean, that could have been a penalty as well. Could that not be? Is that not a penalty when you think about Romero last week? No, it's the bottom part of his arm, innit? I wouldn't give a penalty for that, to be fair. Dermot, can you tell us why? Sorry, I'm just blocking a load of people. It's probably been one of the worst streams we've had for trolls today. It's not been like this for a while, but we've had a few today. There's no goal in the game at the moment because there's an injury and a substitution. So, but very good performance from Villa. But yeah, I don't think they can get top four. I think it's a hard ask to get top four, and I don't think people should be expecting it from them anyway. I think this they just go about their business. Love will tear us apart again. Yeah, so Dermot Gallagher, what he'll say on Monday, he'll be asked about why, when Cons is on a yellow card, he didn't get a second yellow card for grabbing the collar of Fatty when Fatty got a yellow card for kicking him up the bum. Well, at the end of the day, he's already had a yellow card, so he's already been punished for something else. Two wrongs don't make a right. I personally don't think it's aggressive. I think he's obviously put hands on Fatty, but I think what he's actually seen is that's a nice shirt. I'm thinking about, I like collecting shirts. What's the texture like? Can I have a feel of it? And he's had a feel. And, you can't book someone for texture feeling at the end of the day. So it's not a yellow card. Can Brighton still finish top six? Yes, George. Look, Man United can still finish top six. Newcastle can still finish top six. And what I will say is that Aston Villa went to Newcastle and got battered on the opening game of the season. People overreacted. Villa won't be as good as they think. Villa went to Liverpool, got beaten. Oh, overreaction. Villa won't be as good as they think. Brighton got beat by West Ham. Oh, they're not going to be as good as people think. This league is brilliant if you take Man City out of it. Like Arsenal could go to Villa and get beat. And Brighton can go to Spurs and get beat. That's the whole point. So I think that there is really no there's no issue with that. I think Brighton are, always boxing above their weight, and they will be right up there. But obviously, none of these teams are going to compete against Man City because they will drop points when they go to places like this. Sheriff says, I'm happy that Brighton are losing. I'm impressed by Villa. Will be a tough match for us. Refereeing dreadful. Cheers, Mark. Hope you and your family are doing great. Thank you very much, mate. All these injuries, Mark, you were spot on, mate. Diabry is great. Hope it's just precaution, says Isaac. And should rename it Stand Up for the Ref Watch, Mark, says Rudolph the Red. Agreed. Aston Villa always beat Brighton at Villa Park, says Stable. Oh, God. Right, Man United next. The enjoyment is about to subside for the stress. Score prediction, Liverpool game. I went with a Liverpool win. Risky, because Spurs are very good, and, the last thing anybody wants to do is undermine Spurs. They've done very, very well. But, Liverpool have had... you've got to keep an eye out for Liverpool, because Liverpool have had a very... they've been to Newcastle. They've been to Stamford Bridge. So I think it's... good shot there from Brighton over the bar. But they've had a good season, haven't they? Liverpool, and they've played some difficult games already. The love will tear us apart again. I think for Brighton, it's just about trying to keep it credible at this point.
Do you want a cup of tea?
I love a cup of tea, mate. Love a cup of tea. Ansu Fati has scored for Brighton. Do 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 do. There we go. He's got his United kit on. I'll get him to come on in a minute. Not for United. I could play left back, lad. Can do as a shit. Oh, Matoma's been booked now as well. You can have one. You can have both of them. What a crap! I'm going to have a. You get a feeling, don't you? I'm going to have a shit fancy Premier League. Literally going to have a shit fancy Premier League. It all rests on Højlund. I've got Højlund in my FPL, and I've got Bruno in my FPL, and I've took Rashford out. I mean, I don't mind if Rashford scores. If only we could delete Man City. Yep. Man City fans get really offended by that, but the league would be better off without you, I'm sure people used to say it about United when we were good. Here's Watkins again. Now I like Ramsey. Good player. Oh, God. The timing of that is incredible. Live watch with Goldbridge. I literally just said, Ramsey, what a good player. And then he's just whipped in an absolute banger. What a player. 5-1. And Villa, I think, for Brighton it's embarrassing, but for Villa it's a huge result. Happy weekend. And Ramsey, what a goal. They've just been dominant. Absolutely dominant. Yeah, I can't say anything more than that. Another loss of possession in the midfield from Brighton. I tell you what, their defence has been overworked today. and they've deserved it. Look at this finish, though. Look at the whip. You're loving that. When you score a goal like that, you know, you're loving that. It's clean. Clean off the post. It's a brilliant goal. That's the goal of the game, surely. Outside the box, use the defender as the guide, curls it in off the post. Unstoppable finish. Absolutely fantastic goal from Ramsey for Villa. 5-1. And, you know, what can you do? What can you do? What can Brighton do? That's the question. What can Brighton do? They've obviously got a big game coming up next week on Thursday in their Europa League hopes, which is probably their best chance of Champions League football. I mean, they're still in the top four at the moment. They're still third place. Let's not forget, they still retain third place, regardless of losing to Villa. But home to Liverpool next Sunday at 2 o'clock. We'll be doing that one, and I'll be very much looking forward to that one. But the next two games for Brighton, Liverpool and Manchester City. Yeah, they're going to have to step it up. Because if Villa can do that to them, I dread to think what Liverpool and Man City could do to them. Yeah. But as I said, Villa have got some very winnable games coming up. You know, the likes of Luton and Wolves, all coming up in the next 5 games. It's 5-1, yeah, sorry. Change the score, Goldbridge. Change the score. This is the trouble when I have to do it manually. Just delete. And there we go. And there we go. 5-1. Aston Villa. Ramsey's another player that Gareth refuses to call up, says the HPN. Well, Ramsey over Phillips and Konza over Maguire. I'd be happy with that. Clip that up, Villa fans. Ramsey over Calvin Phillips, Watkins over Nketiah, and Konza over Maguire. It's the most common sense England selections you'll ever get. They're in the top 4. They're playing fantastically well, and they're fundamental to those teams. I know Ramsey's just come back from injury, but that's common sense. That's quality, form. That's what we should be doing. He's watching this game. He's probably listening to bloody Coldplay, thinking about watching the Bake Off. Boring. Mohammed says Nketiah is good. He's definitely not good, mate. He's not. Would he start for Everton? No, I'd start Calvert-Lewin. So he's not that good. A Villa striker, sorry, an Arsenal striker, you shouldn't be going, would he start for Everton? Ali says, I'm not even joking. I've got -2. I should retire. Look, I don't dislike Nketiah. Can I just make this very clear? I don't dislike him. I just think he's a very average forward who, you know, is a bench warmer. I don't think he should be playing for England. And I don't think he should be starting for Arsenal. But, you know, there we go. Thanks, mate. Show everyone your top. Now, the bad news is Maguire's on the bench, not starting.
What?
He might come on.
Okay.
It's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Barry hears it from me. He'll go and kick the sofa now. Right, into the 90th minute. I mean, this is what makes me laugh, right? It's 5-1. 5-1. How many minutes do you think the ref's going to add on? 5-1. None of these players need to play anymore. Like, they don't need 8. There you go. 8 minutes. 8 minutes added on after 90 minutes with 6 goals in it, and the game's over. Let's add 8 minutes. Fucking, they're a joke, aren't they? They're an absolute joke. I'm a stickler for the rules. We're adding on 8 minutes. I mean, 8 minutes when it's 5-1. And we wonder why we're getting so many bloody injuries. You know why we're adding 8 minutes on? Because they took about 3 minutes to give the Brighton goal. I've played the game. Right, you know what? This is really sad, but I'm starting to do this now. You know, I don't need to watch 8 minutes of a game that's over. I can go to the toilet and freshen up for the Crystal Palace game, which is what I'm going to do. I know what Southgate's thinking. Shall I have minestrone or cream of tomato soup, says Nick P. And Goldie, have you ever watched Curb Your Enthusiasm? It's your type of humour. I've never watched it, NON. I haven't. I've never watched that at all. But please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Thank you very much. We're going to be over on the United stand for all the 3 o'clock kickoffs and obviously Man United against Crystal Palace. So I will see you over there. I am not going to sit watching 8 minutes of injury time in a game that's over. And I would implore more people to do the same because it's a waste of your time. And this is why we're getting so many injuries. They are fucking clueless in this country when it comes to officiating. And they're adding on 8 minutes at a game like this. I'll see you over on the United stand in about 8 minutes. See you in a bit.